Let's start this with a prayer. Dear Father, I thank you for this day and this opportunity to be used as a vessel to let your people know that you are available, able, and ready in the name of Yeshua from Nazareth. Let's cut this bread. And all of this is like in Proverbs 17. Proverbs 17:3, silver and gold are tested by flames of fire. Our thoughts are tested by the Lord. Proverbs 17:16, why should fools have money for an education when they refuse to learn? And Proverbs 17:10, a sensible person accepts correction, but you can't beat sense into a fool. What do you think about? Like, really? Do you think about what you think about? I know, for me, and it's been like this my whole life, I got like 1,000 things running through my head all the time. And having this relationship with Yeshua, and being like, man, you need to check those. You're letting them thoughts run wild in your mind and you're not even that person anymore. You're right. Because once we have things in our mind, who could really dissuade or persuade us to do something different when we've already settled in our minds, this is what we're going to do? And in Proverbs 3, it says, our thoughts are tested by the Lord. Yeah, what you thinking? Are you checking it? Are you like being like, nah, this ain't real. Let me stop, because let me tell you, I know people who will tell themselves a whole story that has no merit to it and I'll run with it. And I know some people who love it. They love being able to be in the position to make something up, to keep something going, or to watch the messiness. And it all started from a thought, like, what do you entertain? I have an iPhone, so there's a spot where you have tabs open. I didn't realize I had 89 tabs open. I checked something, went away, checked something, went away, checked something, went away, checked something, went away. Using up extra space, draining my battery. And it's the same thing with our thoughts and how we think. Our thoughts are either going to produce life or they're going to produce death. And you don't think that if God is testing our thoughts to be like, oh, okay, she's on the right track, she don't do this. You don't think that he's going to bless you? You don't think that God's like, oh, he thought about it, but he didn't do it. He's growing. Let me bless him because I see him doing it. Proverbs 17:16, why should fools have money for an education when they refuse to learn? Some of the best education that I have ever received has been on the streets. Life education. So these fools that get money to go to school, to get alphabets behind their name, have set up in their mind, in their thoughts, that they are intellectually capable of doing blah, blah, blah. Cool. At the end of the day, look, my education, the best education I got was from the streets, and that's what the world gave me. But when I started walking with Yeshua, him putting me on to like, a Hard Knock University, like, look, these things will do these things, and these things will get you these things. Retrain your mind to think different versus you trying to go get it, or you trying to get to a spot where you're elevated in your thinking that you go beyond me. God don't need, Yeshua don't need, they don't need our spin on anything, but to be truly educated from them on what is really important. Because, and it's not to knock anybody that goes to school, cool, that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But to really learn is to sit down before God and to have him teach you, to have him feed you, to have him transform your mind so everything that you do ultimately brings glory to him. Because listen, we're not bringing no glory to ourselves when we get an education and we start flexing, I did this. We don't realize. And you can call it confidence, but it's arrogance too. Because everything that we do should be given, like, the credit should be given to God. The glory should be given to God. God's like, I want to see how your mind works. Is your mind going to work like me? Because these fools pay to have an education, but they refuse to learn. Science in particular. There's so much education when it comes to science. Scientists know everything, they can prove everything, they're higher than God, but they refuse to learn who is the one that created everything. They refuse to learn that he needs his credit and his respect. This world values you getting it yourself, and God values you coming to him so he could bless you with everything. And you could stand like, because of him. Proverbs 17:10, a sensible person accepts correction, but you can't beat sense into a fool. Now, I think the common theme here is good sense. Where do you get good sense from? Well, first it has to start in your mind. But who placed it in your mind to have good sense? Like if you see something crazy, you know to move. That's good sense. If you see a situation and it's not beneficial for you no more, it's good sense to move. If you have a collection of thoughts that keep coming to debate you on who God said you are, and you choose to block them, that's good sense. One time, my son was driving and he got pulled over by the cops and he started acting really hostile. And he's like, I had to let him know he was an asshole. I said, for what? He's still gonna be one when you're done. So all the extra rah, that isn't needed. You don't have to let nobody know that they're a fool, because you couldn't even beat them into having right sense. And let me tell you, when people say fools, or the Bible talks about fools, we're not talking about people who aren't educated, because a lot of fools are educated and they're running the world into the ground, right? But just the mindset, and that's what God is testing. Are you a sensible person who accepts correction, or are you a fool and you can't even get it beat into you? And when people are like, the Lord doesn't test you, he don't test you like that. He tests you to see if you're ready to go to the next level. Like, what can I say? I got 3 little girls, right? And let me tell you, they test me every day. They test me. And it's not like, they're testing me on purpose, but to see if I'm gonna stand on what I'm gonna stand on. If I come in the room in the morning and I'm like, hey, it's time to get up and go. And I normally say it like in this tone, like, hey girls, wake up, let's go, start the day. I walk out the room. I'll come back 5 minutes later. They're doing it again. I say it again. Girls, come on. It's time to get up. Let's go. I don't want to know. It's a little extra. I don't want to go to school. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Cool. I come in a 3rd time. I told you to get up. Get up now. And then the tone starts changing because I've already given you instructions and you refuse to follow them. It might be one more time that I have to come in, but by this time it's like, now I'm yelling. Is this what you want? You want me to be on 10 before 7? I don't like being heated before 7 o'clock in the morning. It's just not my thing. I am, in a sense, testing them to see if they're ready to get up and start moving and going. Because the next level is eating breakfast, and then the next level is brushing your teeth, and the next level is going to school. Are you ready for it? So when you're talking about God testing, that's it in a nutshell. God wants people to learn from him, because all the money in the world that you get is still going to make you a fool if you don't believe that God is the one who has done everything. You ain't got to. Listen, I don't care what you believe. I believe what he told me to say. I believe how he tells me to move. And that's what it's for me. It's not my job to judge anybody, but if you feel offended by what you have heard, I think that has something to do with your spirit. And a sensible person accepts correction, but you can't beat sense into a fool. He wants us to be sensible. He does. And to come to him for everything. And to ultimately help us get to a point where we check ourselves in our mind, like, does this line up with God? And I know a lot of people say that, but let me tell you what it looks like. Dude, not for nothing, but I have been around a lot of criminal activity my whole life, and I'm 43. So it's just natural. I do Shipt, right? And, you know, I just go and pay for people's orders with somebody else's card, whatever. I found out that sometimes the orders are prepaid, so they don't even check your basket to see what you got in it. And the thought ran in my mind, like, dude, you could put some stuff in here. And then immediately after, it was like, hell no, I ain't going to jail for this. I could buy this, right? I'm not. But it's stuff like that. Like, do you check stuff like that? Or, you know, a lot of people say a lot of things, and I don't like disrespect, and it comes so often. Somebody will say something, and I'll be like, and I think about it like, God being like, really, Tiny? I thought I taught you better. You my daughter. Why are you acting wild? You're right, God. Not gonna say that. But I feel it inside. You know, and then kind of just letting it out with God. Well, God, this is what I would have said had I said it. It was funny, right? Look. Let God work through your mind. Let your thoughts be tested by the Lord. Because silver and gold have to be tested by the flames of fire. They gotta go through the heat to come out pure. Let God take you through that heat. Holla at him.